So, question about the learning a new language, because first,
Yeah.
of course, you need to learn Dutch if you come to the Netherlands. And although the most of the Dutch speak English, you will feel closer to them and they to you if you can speak their language, Dutch. And it's not only because of the language. They say language is a mirror of the human mind, of the human society, and the culture. So, why is it so important to learn a new language quickly? Do you have any experience?
Well, actually, the first time I came here, I bought a book called Teach Yourself Dutch in 3 months. And I actually was so grateful for having that book because it did really help me to just get a tiny little peek in the doorway of not necessarily being understood, but of showing that I was willing and would like to blend, be part of, or just to feel that I belonged. So it's a very difficult language, as you know. But yeah, it's important to learn it quickly because, yeah, the quicker you learn something, of course, the more knowledge is power, and the more words you have in a country that you're living in, the better equipped you are to be able to live normally, live day-to-day life. So that's important.
Nice said. And what are the 3 things that are most important to you in how to learn a new language?
I think it would be relativity, meaning how it relates to how I live. For example, it would be much better for me to learn the language around what I'm interested in, how I live my life on a day-to-day, than go off and learn how to learn business Dutch or banking in Dutch. So for me, it's relativity and how I live my life. And that is also practicality. And understandability. And I really feel that it's more important to be understood than it is to be correct, grammatically correct. So if I can get across a message and people understand what I'm saying or want to say, that is so much more important than have I got the word order correct, for example. And people will always know what, if they are able to respond to what you have asked or to what you have said in Dutch, and then you have done a good job, whether or not it's correct. That's what I feel is important.
Yes, I say that too. Do not strive for perfection, but just for.
That's funny you say that, Serena. Yes. Being a perfectionist.
Yes, but we are teaching what we need to learn. So,
teach what we need to know most.
Yes, I strive for passion and joy and energy, connecting with nice people. So, and understanding, of course, it's more important than perfection.
Yeah,
I think so. But could you tell me about the time when you have been satisfied or energized and productive at learning? And
at learning anything.
Yes, what were you doing? Maybe learning or new language or something else?
Oh my gosh, I've studied so much online and offline as well. So many one of the courses that I can think of at the top of my head that was most, I guess, enjoyable and relatable and fun to do was the Integrative nutrition course. And I think the reason it was because it was a lot of involvement, hands-on involvement, and a lot of like study buddying, practical application, and constant communication. And I think that was really important, because we created various groups, online groups, and we would meet up and discuss and learn together and just basically communicate. And also we became very good friends as well. So, and being accountable as well, and having an accountability coach, and being an accountability coach as part of it. I think that was all really, it was very hands-on, and it was really, really worthwhile. It was a really good course.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
And, how would you like to study Dutch?
Well, I think at this point we study Dutch. I again, going back to the reasons to what I think is important in learning a language is practicality, and being able to apply it to what your lifestyle is. So how would I like to learn Dutch now at this point would be to on a practical basis, on a conversational basis, on a day-to-day living basis.
So you choose the topic, and then you're going to speak about the topic, and the teacher corrects you. Is it right? Or something like that?
Yeah, something like that, or just general things, or what you might do in your life for the week or the day or whatever, and then choose something like that, and part conversation, part written. That's also a good idea, so that you combine, so that you can, read your bank mail, or things that apply to you on a day-to-day basis. That is easier to do. That's just to make life easier.
Do you want to use a book, or you do not want to use any?
Maybe I don't like homework.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do have a good book to be referred to whilst learning. I think is important, but not to go off and do homework. I learning for me is learning, direct learning, not afterwards. Afterwards you can apply it, but not direct learning.
And how is about grammar? Do you want to study it?
Yeah, as part of the direct learning. Of course, it'd be part of correcting with writing and speaking. That would be the teacher's job to correct, and then take from that, okay, when you do this, you do that, as part of the learning process, so that you can apply it then in a day-to-day basis.
Yes, it's a very good manner to study any language, just to read something, or to make yourself a dialogue, and then to see which mistakes you are doing, and on the back of your mistakes to explain you what's the grammar, or what's mistakes where did you make. So it's good. And but how do you find the right course and a nice teacher if you want to learn a language? What would you do?
I would send you an email.
Where would you search?
I would send you an email.
Yeah, because you know me, but how?
If I didn't know you, what would I do? I would go online. I mean, Google has everything. Ask Google.
How would you Google? Which words? I'm writing.
Oh, Google. Learn Dutch online. Learn Dutch online.
Learn Dutch online. So maybe I can use it to find more clients and more students. Okay. And how do you determine what amount of time is reasonable for learning a new language?
It would have to be how much time you have to give, and you have to be realistic on how it's all very individual. How much time do I want to give? How much time can I realistically give without negotiation, without that? It's not negotiable. So this is the amount of time. If I have any more, but I don't need to do any more. If I won't do less, and this is set, and this is I won't do any less. But if I get a chance to do more, then that's a possibility. But I don't have to. So it has to be something that you can stick to, I think.
And how many hours per week would be reasonable for you to spend on learning a new language?
For me personally?
For you personally, if you...
Oh, again, that would have to be depending on the week, really. I haven't thought of it like that because that's not a priority right now. So it would have to be individual. It would have to be, if I said to someone, if someone said to me, how much time should I put in learning my language? Then how much time do you want to give? It's like exercise.
Yeah.
How much time do you want to work out?
How much time do you have?
Yeah. How much time do you want? How much free time do you have? And it's so individual. It's hard to say. I can't say. No, it doesn't apply really.
No, and you want to learn everything during the lesson. So it would be, if you have one lesson a week, it would be just 1 hour, and then practicing what you learned with neighbors or with some.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but at the moment there's not a lot of contact anywhere, so practice may not happen. But I think it depends. Even 1 hour a week is quite a lot. So I don't know. I that's an individual thing, and I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
And how much do you value your own time?
A lot, can't you tell? A lot. My free time, my time is yeah, I do value my time a lot.
Because if you're going to study further language, you have to give up some free time and to study. So
yeah, and again, it's all about prioritizing. If learning another language was a priority for me, then then I would make time. Whatever you're doing most of, that's your biggest value. And if you say you want to learn a language and you look at how you spend your time and you're not learning the language, then it's not a priority. So you have to look at what is a priority. Or whatever it is you're doing most of, that's your priority, whether you say it or not, whether you admit it or not. So, and if you say, I want to learn language, but I just don't have the time. Actually, if you really wanted to learn a language, you would make the time, because that would become a priority and you would be doing it right now.
It's a very good answer. And how do you feel about learning a new language online via Zoom or Skype or Teams?
Yeah, it's really handy because it's, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to arrange anything. You don't have to drive or bike. You don't have to. It's there, isn't it? Click of a button, it's there.
For me, it's yes, it's easier, but there are a lot of people who do not know how Zoom is working, how Skype is working, and they are not so.
Well, the thing is with Zoom, it's the teacher who, like, for example, you invited me. All I did was I clicked on an email. There you are.
So it was easy.
Difficult. Yeah.
So I would like that all other students think like you.
But people complicate things too much, and I guess if you are a little bit frightened about technology, then it can be daunting. It can be frightening because we fear what we don't understand. And trust me, I'm not a tech person at all. And for a long time, I still am, I guess, scared of technology. But you do it a couple of times and it becomes, well, it's you see how easy it can be. So Zoom is, it's the way of things at the moment. So it's very easy.
Yeah. And what is the biggest challenge when it comes to learning a new language?
Getting it wrong. remembering it, and just remembering it, I guess.
Yeah, you know that you need to say the same word 7 times before you remember it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to use
Yeah, I can imagine.
words, and then you.
And writing things down will make it easier, because writing things down triggers the creative part of the mind, which enhances memory as well. So actually physically writing, not clicking on a typewriter or a computer, actually physically writing it down with a pen and paper, that will stimulate the creative side of the brain and enhance the ability to remember. So that's really important.
Now I would like to ask you the final question, and maybe you can tell me something unique about you. What or most interesting thing about you that's not mentioned before? Maybe you want to add something from.
Oh my gosh. Most interesting thing about me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's put me on the spot. I don't know whether it's interesting or not. I'm vegan. Gosh, wow, you've put me on the spot now, and I really can't seem to
Sorry.
answer that.
Oh, sorry, it's just.
I'm actually very simple. I'm simple. I live a very simple life, and it's not for everyone. But it doesn't. I'm not impressed with a lot. You know, I don't. You don't need to impress me. Things don't impress me. Like big things don't impress me. Elaborate things don't impress me. I love comfort. I love nature. I love good food. I'm a vegan. I eat a very healthy diet. I love exercise, preferably outdoors. I go to bed very early. I get up very early. I appreciate my own time. I do yoga. I practice yoga every day. And I adore my dog. And my values are environment, clean environment, both inside and out, and connection, I think, really. But really, on what you see is what you get. Simplicity. Life doesn't have to be complicated. Been there. I've had a complicated past, so I don't need that anymore. And that's all I need. I don't drive. I do drive, but I don't like to. I can drive. What I'm saying. I sold my car, so I think if you can't go on a bicycle, then don't go.
I like it, simplicity.
Yeah.
I would like to give the final tips for students, also very simple, who want to learn Dutch. Just go at your pace, take little steps, take your time, learn the material and be with it, and you will have the rest of your life to speak. So just enjoy learning.